All right, we're here. We're going to check out the new Banger set, which I have not seen yet. The Banger bar is back there. The new set is that way. Oh, there's pictures and shit. And a lot of fucking magnets. Damn, dude. I like this one. I like this. This is my favorite part. This is like a desk. It's like a broadcaster desk. Welcome to Metal News. I'm Bradley Zordrager. Tonight, no, I'm just fucking with you. It's still Overkill Reviews. Hey, I'm Brad. Welcome to the new season of Overkill Reviews. You just saw my reaction to coming and seeing this brand new set for the first time. And now that we have two videos, unless you watched Blaine's Cradle of Filth one before this is your first view of this wonderful, my new home, I guess. I live in the corner. No, like seriously, we're putting out 2 reviews every Friday now, which inadvertently kind of turned every week into a competition between us, and I think Blaine probably has me beat this week, so help me out and just click the repeat button or like send it to your friends and tell them to subscribe or like whatever. I just want to win, man. Another benefit to having more reviews, other than the impending death match between Sam and I, is that we can represent our homeland a little bit more. That means that there will be more reviews of Canadian metal, like these guys. What you just heard there was some Vancouver tech death from ARCHSPIRE. It's off their new album called Relentless Mutation, out today on Seasons of Mist. This is their 3rd full-length album. Since 2009, these guys have been pushing the boundaries of technicality in extreme music. Just how technical are they? Well, on their Facebook page, they break down their guitarist into the guy who plays 7 strings and 8 strings. And if you read the matrix etching on the vinyl, it actually tells you their guitar tunings. Okay, I made up that last part, but you get the point. They care about the nerdy shit. This is actually only a 7-song LP. You just heard a bit of the first song, and now I'm gonna give you a taste of the rest of them. These first 2 clips are important because they show how their unique vocalist really adds to their sound. This is Human Murmuration. You heard that ridiculous drum fill, right? Like, I know I said I was gonna talk about the vocals, and I'm going to, but drum fill first, then the other clip, and then I'll talk about the vocals. So, the other clip. So let's break music down very simplistically into rhythm and melody. So in your average band, you know, you have the guitar players, they kind of carry the melody along with the vocals. And then you've got the rhythm, which is carried by the percussion and the bass. So all of his vocals are very percussive. In the first clip, you heard they kind of weaved in and around the drums, kind of playing with them and coming in and out. And on the second one, they went along with the drums. This is important for the band because it helps them avoid any monotony in their vocals, which might happen to a technical band when the vocalist just simply can't keep up to all the cool, flashy stuff that's happening on the instruments. What it also does for the band is it changes up the rhythm from being primarily percussion and bass to being primarily percussion and the percussive vocals. And what that opens them up to do is allow the bass to explore melody a little bit more, to kind of drive the songwriting instead of working around the drums, which you heard earlier with that bass sweeping part. The vocals are very unique. It's probably not what you're used to in this style of music, but that's why this band needs that. It sets them apart. But what else can they do? Now to showcase a different side of the band, this is from the middle of the album. It's the title track, Relentless Mutation. Relentless mutation. Relentless mutation. Honestly, like the main thing that I wanted to show here is that the band isn't always hyper blasting. They're not always going super fast. They can slow it down and it works too. And if you were off-put by the vocals, these are maybe a little bit more what you're used to in technical death metal or death metal in general. They're not as percussive, they're a little bit more drawn out. This is a new area of focus for the band for this album. In the past, they were pretty much heavy all the time. I mean, there was, some quieter parts. But here it seems that they're a little bit more purposefully dynamic, that they're putting these slower, more melodic sections in more songs and more places. And while you might think that kind of takes the wind out of the sails, it actually just allows them to readjust, steer, set a new course, and then they come out just as strong afterwards. So I'm gonna address the elephant in the room here for a lot of people, which is probably that this band is a gimmick. After all, their tagline is "Stay Tech." They are technical, some may say to a fault. I'll talk more about that later in the verdict, but I think they pull it off well enough that it doesn't seem like a distracting gimmick. It's more just their trademark. But when they combine it with something else that's pretty campy, it kind of shines a light on itself. It draws a little bit too much attention to that kind of gimmicky part, and it doesn't really work. The machine gun thing, it was kind of done to death in the early to mid 2000s with all these metalcore bands doing it before their breakdowns. I just feel like tech death bands are a little bit above that. And I'm not saying that to take a slight at the metalcore bands. It's just metalcore bands kind of utilize campy things a lot more. Like they start out songs with clips from movies. These guys just seem a little bit more serious. Maybe these guys were trying to have some fun after shredding their fingers into bloody, calloused messes, which, fair, I get it, I like to have fun too. But it doesn't really fit with the mood of the rest of the record. And it's just simply unnecessary. You could have just started the song right after that and it would have carried on just fine. Maybe I'll just do that on my iTunes. I'll just start the song late. We're almost at the end of our journey. This is the last song on the album, A Dark Horizontal. Again, here we've got something a little bit different for these guys. Sure, there's the blast beats which are going for a lot of the album, but over top of it there's that ominous melody which sets it apart. And then the band get back into, staying tech, as they say, with that shredding, sweeping part. And unlike bands like Brain Drill and Beneath the Massacre, which certainly have their merits, and I own a couple CDs of both of those bands. That's a lie, I only own one Brain Drill CD. Unlike bands like Brain Drill and Beneath the Massacre, these sweeps feel a little bit more melodic, a little bit more based in musical theory, and it kind of adds a little bit more to it than just dissonant shred. So, that was 7 tracks of Vancouver's finest tech death. ARCHSPIRE continue Canada's rich tradition of putting out some quality technical death metal bands, such as Cryptopsy, Gorguts, Neuraxis, Beneath the Massacre, or even a more recent band like Beyond Creation. One thing that sets ARCHSPIRE apart from those bands is that they're all from Quebec and ARCHSPIRE is from BC. Not that it has any bearing on the music, but one has really good poutine, one has really good weed, and Sam Dunn, I guess. I'm not huge on what technical death metal became. I mean, I liked it a lot when I was younger, and I still like a lot of the classic stuff, but a lot of it is just masturbating your guitar and showing off how good you are. And yeah, ARCHSPIRE kind of fit into that category, but there's just something about these guys that sets them apart. It's not just the vocals, although that is a key component, but it's the melody, it's the composition, it's the exploration, the fact that they're adding more melodic parts, more parts that feel like interludes right in the song, but they kind of seamlessly flow into them and out of them. A lesser band may have been content to just, continue shredding and outperforming everybody else, but the fact that they're kind of pushing their sound in addition to pushing their technical abilities proves that they're a special band. If we're lucky, ARCHSPIRE will inspire a more inspired wave of technical death metal bands, even if the wave that follows up might not be able to keep up with these guys. And for that reason, I'm giving them 4 out of 5 skulls on Overkill Reviews. That was my score. Whether you agree with me or disagree, I'm sure you'll tell me in the comments below, but there's another way that you can make your voice heard too. Go to BangerTV.com, where we've implemented a fan vote. You tell us how many skulls you think that this album deserves, and it'll update the fans' collective score in real time. Last but not least, as always, don't forget to subscribe, and something new, check out the other review that came out this week, Blaine's review of Cradle of Filth. For Metal News, I'm Bradley Zordegger.